Good evening, everyone. Today is Wednesday, December 11th, 2024, and we are convening a regular meeting of the board, the Cuyahoga Heights Schools Board of Education. Mr. Muccio, would you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Decker.
Here.
Mrs. Etter.
Here.
Ms. Prowse.
Here.
Mr. Dobbins.
Here. 4 present, 1 absent. Mr. Suchaki will be joining us shortly. On behalf of the board, I'd like to welcome all students, staff, and interested community members to tonight's Board of Education meeting. The board values and encourages public comment on education issues. Anyone having an interest in the actions of the board may participate during the public comments portion of this meeting. Please identify yourself on the board sign-in sheet that I believe is in the rear of the room. A copy of the board meeting agenda is available for review on our school district's website. Please silence your cell phones during the meetings. Thank you, and can we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So may I have a motion to approve this evening's agenda?
So moved.
Ms. Prowse moves.
Second?
Ms. Etter seconds. Is there any changes, deletions, comments? Okay. Then let's move to a vote, please. Mr. Muccio.
Ms. Prowse.
Aye.
Mrs. Etter.
Aye.
Mrs. Decker.
Aye.
Mr. Dobbins.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Moving on to agenda item number 3, recognitions, and I'm going to pass the program to Mr. Young.
All right. We have 9 students from our high school, middle school, and elementary school being recognized as our December Students of the Month. We will start with our high school. Mrs. Elena Scotton, our Dean of Students, will introduce our high school representatives. When she brings you up, you get your certificate. Please stay standing up here in the front of the room so everybody can stare at you for 15 minutes. Afterwards, we will get a picture in front of the backdrop, and then your parents get to take you out for ice cream or stay up all night and play Fortnite OG or whatever the thing is of the day. So they know what I'm talking about too. Yes. Go ahead.
Thanks, Mr. Young. Good evening, everybody. So we are going to start with our 12th grade student of the month and work our way down from there. So would Alex Nemeth please come forward? Stand over here. Perfect. Alex lives in Bedford with his parents, Melissa and Gary. He has one sister who's at college. They have a dog named Rooney and a cat named Tipsy. His favorite class is art. Here in Cuyahoga Heights, he is on the football and track teams, and outside of school, he enjoys working on cars and tractors, specifically motors and diesel and all of that good stuff. His most memorable school experience was being on the football team. 10 years from now, he sees himself owning a piece of secluded property, working as a diesel mechanic, and his favorite part of the high school has been the community. He really enjoys being a part of the small, close-knit community and getting along with everyone. So now here are what Alex's teacher said about him. Alex is a very attentive and dedicated student when applying himself to his work. He frequently challenges himself by choosing difficult subjects or images to make his artworks, seeing the process through, never rushing it. It's easy to choose a route that will get the assignment done fast, but Alex rather chooses the route that will be harder for the creative challenges and rewards. His work ethic is to be admired amongst his peers. Congratulations, Alex.
Stop.
All right, is our 11th of the month, student of the month here, Isaiah. There he is. Come on up, Isaiah. I can see you over there. Isaiah lives in Walton Hills with his mom, Tiffany, and stepdad, Patrick, and 3 brothers, Eli, Jonah, and Ben. They have 2 cats, Marcus and Maisie. His favorite class is AP Biology, as he finds it fun and interesting. In school, he's involved in marching band, art club, and drama club, where he assists with the lights. His most memorable school experience was going to Nashville last year with the marching band and attending his first homecoming dance. 10 years from now, Isaiah would like to see himself with a degree in biology. And his favorite part of Cuyahoga Heights High School are his friends and the theater department because it gives him a nice creative outlet. And here are what your teacher said about you. It's hard to put into words how much Isaiah has grown throughout high school, but the way he has stood out most is through his selfless compassion and mentorship of younger students. Isaiah has taken responsibility for mentoring younger students in the band program and is always ready to help and when things need to get done. He is always deeply sensitive to the needs of others and is a great friend to his peers. We are so proud of Isaiah and how far he has come since freshman year. Congratulations. All right, our 10th grade student of the month is Matt Cottrell. Matt, would you please come forward? Matt lives in Parma with his parents, Eileen and Michael, his sisters, Sarah and Emily, and his 2 dogs, Henry and Hazel, who are friends with my dog, Colby, because we're neighbors. His favorite subject is biology. He's on the basketball and cross-country team here at Cuyahoga Heights. 10 years from now, he sees himself becoming a forensic scientist. And his favorite part of the high school has been making new friends and being on the basketball team. And here is what our teacher said about Matt. Matt is off to a great start in the second quarter. His outstanding performance on a recent test, where he earned the highest grade of the year, demonstrates his growing mastery of the material and dedication to his studies. His consistent positive attitude serves as an inspiration to his classmates as he approaches each challenge with enthusiasm and determination. His participation in all classroom activities, from group discussions to individual assignments, shows his engagement with the learning process. His willingness to tackle new challenges and help others has made him a valuable member of our classroom community. Congratulations, Matt. All right, and last but not least, our 9th grade student of the month, Nolan Junkie. Nolan lives in Valley View with his parents, Lori and David, and his 2 siblings. They have a dog, Odie, and a cat, Peyton. His favorite class is Algebra 2 because he enjoys math, since it's based on what he wants to be when he's older, which is possibly being an engineer at NASA. Or he said being in the MLB, so we'll see. 2 contrasting things, but he is on the bowling and soccer team here at CHS, and outside of school he plays baseball. He also loves to hang out in the woods outside of school, and he loves to do puzzles with his dad. So I asked, what's the biggest puzzle you've ever done? And he said 8,000 pieces. So that's very impressive. His most memorable school experience was playing kickball at recess at the elementary school. And his favorite part of Cuyahoga Heights are the teachers, because they always make him laugh and take time to develop positive relationships with their students. And now we have a little bit of bio of what your teachers wrote about you. Nolan exemplifies the welcoming spirit and leadership qualities we value at Cuyahoga Heights High School. Recently, Nolan demonstrated exceptional character when he volunteered to host an 8th grade student who was considering attending our school. His enthusiasm and warmth were evident from the moment he greeted the student, setting a positive tone with an energetic, "Are you ready to have a great day? Let's do it." Nolan's natural ability to make others feel comfortable and included had an immediate impact. The visiting student left so impressed with his shadow experience that he decided that very day that Cuyahoga Heights was the right choice for his high school career. Through his actions, Nolan shows that true leadership often comes through simple acts of kindness and inclusion. His positive attitude and willingness to help others make him an outstanding choice for Student of the Month. Congratulations, Nolan.
Very nice.
And now I'm going to have Mr. Dutray come up for our middle school Student of the Month.
I invite Sophia Fulmer from the 8th grade class, Student of the Month, to please step forward. Sophia is here with her parents, Joanna and Don. She is a triplet, and the family lives in Newburgh Heights, along with their 3 cats, Pepper, Chica, and Indy. Her favorite subjects in school are history and science, and Sophia said when she isn't in school, she is at home doing homework, playing with her cats, or playing on video games. I learned through conversation with Sophia that she is a huge WWE fan and that her favorite wrestler is the New Bloodline. Is that right? When she is done with school, she wants to be a content creator for the internet. Her favorite part of Heights is coming to school and getting to hang out with friends and the teachers. Here is what her nominating teacher wrote. Sophia Fulmer is the 8th grade Student of the Month nominee for December. Sophia demonstrates service each day by being a hardworking, diligent student. Sophia takes her education seriously. She works energetically and is incredibly dedicated to becoming a well-rounded individual. Her service is dedicated to her family, friends, and teachers that take great pride in her success. Sophia has a sense of humor, oftentimes sharing a laugh with her classmates and teachers. Sophia inspires many people with all of her positive attributes. Congratulations on your Student of the Month nominations, and thank you for making us a better school. Congratulations, Sophia.
Did they say she's
The 7th grade Student of the Month, Zoe Emmert. Please step forward. Zoe is here with her parents, Scott and Samantha, and she has a younger brother at the elementary school. She has attended Heights her entire career, and the family resides in Brooklyn Heights. Zoe's favorite subject in school is English. She particularly likes poetry. She plays the violin in the school orchestra, and she enjoys ice skating. When I asked her to tell me about her most memorable experience here at Heights, she said, "There have been so many that it's hard to pick just one." She plans to pursue a career in cosmetology when she is done with school, and her favorite part of being at our school is the teachers. They make what we are learning about so easy to understand. And here is what her nominating teacher wrote. We are proud to recognize Zoe Emmert as 7th grade's nomination for Student of the Month of December. Zoe exemplifies kindness and positivity in all that she does. She approaches each day with a friendly demeanor, brightening the classroom and hallways with her warm smile and uplifting attitude. Zoe is always willing to lend a helping hand in order to help others. Whether it's assisting a classmate who needs extra support, volunteering for tasks, or simply being a compassionate listener, she always goes above and beyond to make those around her feel valued and supported. We are so proud to have Zoe as a part of CHMS, and we are confident she will continue to make a difference wherever she goes. Congratulations, Zoe, on this well-deserved recognition. Keep up the great work. And from the 6th grade, Madison Hawthorne. Please come forward. Madison is here tonight with her parents, Andy and Tracy, and she has a younger sister who attends the elementary school. They are residents of Valley View, and Madison has been attending Cuyahoga Heights her entire career as well. She says that her mom, Tracy, is an alumni of Heights. Is that true? All right. Her favorite subject in school is math. She is a member of the school's band, and outside of school, you can find her playing soccer, softball, or playing with friends. Something interesting that I learned about Madison is that she does curling. And for me, curling is that sport that's only in the Olympics that you get to see once every 4 years, but it's so cool to watch. So I thought that was a pretty interesting fact that I wanted to make sure everybody got to hear that. She aspires to become a professional soccer player, and she said that her favorite part of being at Heights is that you have options to do a lot of different things, like clubs and sports. And here is what her nominating teacher wrote. Madison Hawthorne has been chosen as the 6th grade December Student of the Month, not only for her outstanding academic record, but also for the virtues she demonstrates on a daily basis. Through respect, thoughtfulness, and tolerance, Madison appreciates the importance of leading by example through kind-hearted actions. Madison's success in school is a direct result of her strong work ethic and dedication to excellence. Her high marks are proof of her hard work and perseverance. In class, she consistently offers insightful comments and thoughtful answers that add depth to many lessons. Madison also demonstrates many positive leadership qualities, including confidence, self-discipline, pride, and respect toward her classmates and adults. Cuyahoga Heights Middle School is proud to have this fine young lady as a member of our school family. Congratulations, Madison. And now we'll have Joel Melvin introduce the elementary school's Student of the Month.
right, first up, we have second grader Skylar Gilbert. All right. So Skylar is in Mrs. Dennison's class. She resides in Valley View. She lives with her mom and dad and her two brothers, Mackie and Theo. She has a pet fish named Fishy and a dog, Budkiss or Rusty. It just has tons of names, she said. Her favorite subject is math because she gets to talk to her friends while she is doing her work. So I thought that was a pretty good answer. Her favorite essentials, she said that she can't live without her dog because sometimes when she feels sad, he makes her feel better. Outside of school, she loves to play with her friends. When she grows up, she wants to be a dog teacher because she really loves dogs and wants to be a teacher. And her message for her family is thank you for being here today. And Mrs. Dennison wrote about Skylar that she was chosen as the second grade student of the month for exemplifying positive character traits. Skylar consistently shows empathy for others and shows kindness to everyone around her. She is a positive role model for her peers and ensures everyone in our class is included. We are so fortunate to have the opportunity to have Skylar as a student in second grade this year. So nice job, Skylar. Well, hold on. You got to get your award, what you came here for, and I took the paperclip off. Nice work. Keep being you. There you go. We'll go right over there. And our last award winner of the evening is Mr. August Freep. And if the name sounds familiar, that's because his dad, Mr. Freet, works over here at the high school. So, all right. So, Augie lives in Cleveland Heights with his with his mom, Natasha, and his dad, Brian, and two brothers, Avi and Cole. Avi is in 9th grade and Cole is in 4th. Right? Right. Okay. Make sure I'm saying it right. His pet, cats, Quasi and George. His cats, Quasi and George. His favorite subject is science because he's able to do a lot of fun experiments and that they get to make cool things. His favorite essentials are books because he loves to read. And outside of school, he loves to cook. He likes going to his grandma's house. When he grows up, he's got a lot here. So he wants to be involved in professional football, either with the Eagles, the Packers, the Falcons, the Panthers, the Cowboys, and maybe the Browns, as an offensive or defensive coordinator, or he would like to be a team doctor for a football team. So the message to his parents is part of the reason that I got this award is that you help me get through any problems that I may have and that you encourage me. So what Mrs. Wallace wrote about August is that he consistently demonstrates how to be caring, honest, engaged, and safe. He is always willing to help in the classroom. He works with other students in a caring and supportive manner. He is dependable and can be counted on to do the right thing when nobody's watching. August comes to school with a positive attitude and an infectious smile. He strives to perform his personal best on any task and knows when to advocate for himself when he is having trouble. We are proud to know August and can't wait to see all of the amazing things that he will accomplish. So congratulations. Keep being you.
This is great. We had every single student of the month here. That rarely ever happens because of how busy students are. We usually don't do this in December. We double up in January. So thank you for being here tonight. Give them another round of applause. You know, you each represent a set of qualities that not only got your teachers' attention to recognize you this way, but you make us better at Cuyahoga Heights. It's people like you that represent the very best of us, and we know you're going to continue to be successful as leaders and role models, and we couldn't be prouder of you. So congratulations once again. So we're going to take a 5-minute recess for you to go get photos with the Board of Education. Parents, you can get individual photos with the backdrop there, and approximately 7:30 we'll reconvene for the rest of the board meeting. Thank you, everybody. Happy holidays to you.
brief, the brief meeting with the public, and we are looking at agenda item number 4, comments from the public. There are none this evening, so we'll move on to agenda item number 5, treasurer's business. Mr. Muccio.
Thank you, Mr. Dobbins. A couple items tonight for approval. I ask for items 5A, 6A through 6D for approval tonight.
May I have a motion to approve the treasurer's consent agenda items, please?
So moved.
Ms. Decker moves.
Second.
Ms. Zatter seconds. Mr. Muccio.
6A would be our normal bank reconciliation, financial reports, and payments for board review for the month of October 31st. Item 6B would be new vendors. We just have one. And that new vendor, we click our lead sheet, it's going to be Lepo. And it's for an estimated amount over a year of $3,000 for equipment rental. You know, maybe what type of, or just general?
George, do you know what equipment we're doing the rental for with Lepo Incorporated? For $3,000. I know sometimes we rent some equipment to do some projects so that we don't have to purchase equipment at a much larger rate, but I don't have the specifics. I can get those.
Yeah, it's just a new vendor.
Yeah.
We go to purchase orders over 5,000, and we just have one tonight. That's the Ohio Leadership Institute, and that's for the Ohio Model UN Conference for approximately 28 students and 2 adults, $8,450.
Quick question, you have that split out?
Items 5A, 6A,
Okay,
through 6D.
I got you.
And then,
Quick question, Matt, real quick. Sorry, you have that split out,
Yep.
lines 1 and 2?
Yep.
140, 135. Is that the split out between the parents and the school?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so just to kind of dive deeper, and we're going to see this as an action item on the superintendent's side later. The conference actually happened yesterday, the December 8th through the 10th. So Mr. Young reached out to Mr. Suchaki, just giving advance notice, because this was something that kind of came maybe quicker than thought. But what we're doing is we're splitting the cost between the general fund and what the students are paying. So if we were to essentially open the other attachment, we don't have to at the moment, but the students are responsible for about $140 some of it, the 28, and then the rest of the cost is being paid for by the Board of Education. So almost split down the middle, if we were to look at it. But if we did open the second attachment, because I know that sheet's there. Let's see, it is, yeah, or 4A. So if we look at that, yeah, it's about $140 that the students are responsible for, and the board is responsible for. That's adding up to about $4,000, $4,450. So almost split 50-50. All right, so, and the last item we have is going to be 6D. So this is a motion to authorize the superintendent and treasurer to proceed with policy 6320, soliciting of bids to obtain competitive bids for the Hillside Stabilization Project. And I'll just kind of read what I have here. So back at our September 4th, 2024 Board of Education meeting, we approved GPD for architectural and engineering design services for the Hillside project. That cost estimate that GPD devised for the Hillside Stabilization Project is $450,000, and I'll kind of open that up too. By approving this motion today to authorize soliciting of bids, we are following GPD's project schedule timeline. So we have a tentative timeline right here in the middle. So the week of December 23rd, we would advertise the bid specifications in the newspaper. The week of December 30th for 1 week, that would be the second consecutive week. We would also advertise for bids in the Plain Dealer. And the week of January 6th for 1 week, that would be the third consecutive week, we would advertise for bids. Tuesday, January 7th, we're holding a pre-bid meeting for anyone interested in bidding on this project. project. So the vendors would walk the site with GPD that day. So they're going to look at everything involved in this project. Friday, January 17th, would be the time the bids are due, and we would open the bids and record them at that meeting on Friday, and that's at 1 o'clock. Wednesday, January 22nd, tentatively, the hope would be to bring forward to the Board of Education a contract resulting from those competitive bids, which would be the lowest responsible and responsive bidder. So we would work with GPD between opening the bids and then that Wednesday to bring forward the recommendation, primarily coming from GPD's side. Construction would be anticipated for 55 days, starting in June and July of 2025. And the closeout is anticipated for August 2025. If we look at the administrative content, we can see we opened the hillside stabilization specs draft. This is a draft. I did find one error already in here that they're correcting. But this is 264 pages of everything the GPD put together, which the Board of Education approved for them to create. So we can see, if we all go to page 4 of 264, right here is the kind of invitation to bid. This is what's going to be put in the plain dealer. And it talks about right in the middle, base bid, $450,000 for this project from GPD. And, if I just kind of scroll through all the other pages, it really talks about, everything in the project that would be there. And if I close this and go back to the other attachment we have in the administrative content, which is the hillside stabilization plans. These are the engineering drawings. Of the hillside. Matt, I don't know if you want to add anything to this, or they're flying in with a helicopter to work on this, right?
No, but we have gone over kind of some of the details of what it's going to entail. Like, we're going to have to use the elementary playground parking lot. We're going to have to remove part of that fence to get the equipment down over the hill. We've talked about essentially the loss of the back parking lot behind the high school during this time. The goal is for them to be able to work on both parts of the hill simultaneously. That's kind of the goal, because I think it not only expedites the process, but I think what they told us, it's somewhat cheaper, because you got all the equipment there. 2 crews come in and they get the job done. The north end has a lot, there are more utilities there, so they're going to have to, there's more logistics they're going to have to work through on that end, as well as just a narrower drive as you get right back behind the school by the band room there. So, but yeah, we're excited here in a few weeks. It's going to go out to bid in the plain dealer, and by the 17th, we'll have a rubric that we'll use to evaluate whatever bids come in at that particular time. And they're pretty confident that this will be done, mid to end of July. They gave 55-day buffer, and they feel like that's something that would be adequate. And again, they're going to be driving these steel piles into the ground to bring the safety factor up to or close to the 1.5 value, which is the industry standard in those 2 areas.
And we have in the executive content budget, how we're going to pay for it. So our plan is to use Fund 300-9300, which is our athletic facilities master plan account, to pay for the hillside stabilization project, estimated by GPD at $450,000. So the balance currently in that fund is approximately $1.2 million. And that fund was set up for set-aside money for the turf field that we have. And we have that resolution attached in the executive content. We read through it, Matt and myself, and it talks about always depositing in that account $60,000 from that point in time, 2009-ish. So we are fulfilling that requirement. We're actually exceeding it. It's not just 60,000. We've been putting much more than that. It doesn't talk about anything in that resolution about not being able to take money out once it's in the account. So by reading the resolution, we want to comply with that from 2009. We would look to use that fund, which has $1.2 million hillside stabilization project. And then that's gonna drop it from the 1.2 minus 450,000 to about 750,000. And approximately a new turf field's about 800,000, give or take. So we're gonna have, a couple of years to build that fund back up. And we're in year 4 of our new field turf-ish, give or take.
6,
6.
Yeah.
So, and the useful life is more than 10, maybe 12.
12 to 15.
Yep, years for a turf field. So we feel that this is the safest spot, because there's really only 3 funds we'd be able to use. General fund, which we probably don't want to go there. Permanent improvement fund, I'm going to talk about that one in a little bit. And then this billboard fund. And we did just approve a couple months ago, a new contract with our billboard company. And they're working on putting a digital, another one out there, which is going to increase the revenue that we have. So we feel that this is the best course of action that we have in front of us. And then my last sentence there, in turn, we would use our fund 003, which is our permanent improvement fund. And we have 3 sub-accounts in that 3 fund. We have the 003 for the boilers, which I call. We have the 003 for the recovery from years ago. And we have the technology 003 account. So we're not looking to use technology for the next project, which that next project would be the fire alarm system that we have. And that's estimated to be maybe between 500,000 to $1 million in that ballpark. So we have a balance of 965,000 in the permanent improvement boiler account, and that's for boilers going down and any major projects that we would have. And then the recovery account, we've been earmarking over the past however many years, more than 5, for vehicles. And that has just over 1 million, 1,030,000 in it.
Yeah, we were benefited by that state grant where we were able to purchase 4 buses for the price of 2. I mean, it was incredible. So that saved that account quite a bit long term.
So we're looking to use the 003 fund for the fire alarm project that we have ahead of us.
So I have a few questions. This is kind of a threshold moment for this project. Is there a level of certainty or confidence by GPD and others that are involved in this as to the effect of doing this project and thereafter it would be wholly remediated? In other words, my understanding is that just by doing this stabilization project and inserting or drilling these supports, for lack of a better word, that in and of itself is the sole form of remediation for this project, and that thereafter, anyone who's doing it, well, any expert in that area who's doing an engineering study would come to the conclusion that we are at was it a 1.5 or better slope stability factor, and that our problem that gave rise to this has been fully remediated.
Do they feel that this will remedy getting the safety factor very close to the 1.50? And did they say 30 years? They felt 30,
Okay.
because it's underground, they felt maybe it's like a 30-year shelf life, so to speak, before you may have to consider.
Okay.
Do you have any expertise?
I was
Mrs.
going the
Decker?
same way that Mark was going, is in the bids, if they could kind of go, would they be able to get that, anybody submitting a bid, could they get that in writing? Hey, we're willing to give a guarantee of this is gonna give you
I think we can request just about anything we want.
I mean,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I know
Not
the
a
engineers will tell you, and again, you probably worked with engineers, they'll never guarantee anything
Yeah.
100%. They don't give you any of those things, but
Not a guarantee, you're gonna have some kind of risk, but,
sure.
Or warranty.
a warranty, yeah, different companies are gonna give you, but they're gonna go out to bid, but hey,
Yeah, we've continued to have our weekly meetings on Fridays with GPD. We'll bring these pieces up because, again, they're going to be, people that are interested are going to come out on the 7th of January, and we'll take them around the facilities, and this can be one of the things that we can discuss at that time as well.
you're gonna have some kind of performance period. So, how long are they gonna guarantee, what's their life expectancy of their product, so to say? Were they, yeah,
Yeah, and we can ask that, because we did ask that of Dell channels, the geotech, and he I thought he said 30 to 40 years, but I can get that more. I can get more clarity on that.
Mr. Young, I guess kind of following up on this conversation then, is there any type of ongoing or regular maintenance that's required on these pilings? Or is it basically drill it, install it, and everyone's done then? We don't have any.
They never gave the impression there's going to be
Yeah, that's
any
what
maintenance on it.
My sense is that
That's my recollection of it.
it's done and that's it, and it's a permanent remediation. Okay, thank you.
Do we have any idea with this process of the submitting of the bids about, just idea of how many companies might actually bid?
That's, maybe the positive, good thing about using GPD is they have a large network that they're going to say, hey, company XYZ, take a look at what Cuyahoga Heights has out for bid, because we think you guys are, a really good company to bid on that project. So I think they're going to, make some phone calls to have some companies.
I know one company for sure that's interested.
Yeah.
They reached out to me at OSBA. They had heard that we had some projects maybe in the works, and they wanted to
Okay,
know about our timelines. And I said, well, this will be coming. And
that's good to know. I mean, it's kind of weird, like, it's hard to know, like, putting this in the newspaper, like, who's really gonna see it?
Right,
Do they do that? Do they look for this?
there's some,
What businesses are out there that can
Right.
address this problem that we have?
they were required to put it in the newspaper per ORC, but there are
Right.
also trade websites, for builder websites that,
Okay.
GPD is gonna, work with. And, again, they have a network that they can, reach out and say, to the various companies in, Ohio to take a look at, this project that Cuyahoga Heights has up to bid on. So we're hopeful, but, it's kind of, fingers crossed. That
Thank you.
Mr. Young, you and Mr. Mucho both were talking about the financing for this project, and that it's obviously part of a bigger picture. Have you given any consideration to how and when you might be kind of getting the word out to the general public about this particular project and its significance, both in an absolute and kind of a relative sense?
yeah, so I met with our communications staff from the ESC today, and they were asking that very question. When do you want to talk about the couple projects that you have? And we thought the third newsletter of the year would be a good time to talk about that, because our vendors would be selected by that point. We would know the approximate cost. We would have a more definitive timeline, and we could provide a more complete story, if you will, about what's going to be happening. So you're going to have that, and then I have my weekly newsletter. At any point, I could start reinforcing some of those things, and kind of like watch our dollars at work type of thing, is especially through the summer as things start to happen. Just having some photos that go into the newsletter so you can say, oh, here's what you see in week 1, here's week 2, and just kind of tell the story of the projects that we're doing. So definitely I spoke to Margaret and Charlene with our group today, and the third newsletter is what we're targeting for the introduction of these projects.
When you say a third newsletter, what would the rough timing, is that spring? Or?
No, that would come out so the next one's set to go out in January, so this one would be a March/April
Oh, okay.
timeline.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Yeah, and then you would get a follow-up, and then the June/July edition would be the next follow-up, and every one after that, you would probably start to see your dollars at work type of thing.
I appreciate your sensitivity in the public's need to know or interest in knowing how their dollars are being spent. And unfortunately, this is not one of those projects that the public can actually visibly see.
They're going to hear it, though, I can promise you.
Yeah.
When they drive that steel into the ground,
Yeah.
it's going to wake up the neighborhood, so.
Yeah, well,
We talked to the mayor about that. We've checked out the village's ordinance for sound of that magnitude, and he's aware of it. So we'll be operating during the daylight hours.
look forward to more good things. Thank you.
And I'm not sure what error you caught, but I think page 15, they referenced the wrong school. Board, did you see that one?
Call on a different page too.
Yeah, we've sent 4 or 5 errors back
Okay.
over to them. Yeah, where they had a date wrong. They've like
Yeah,
you said,
Cleveland
reference the
Heights,
wrong
yeah,
school.
I see that.
Yeah,
Okay.
On 15?
yeah, our alter ego, Cleveland Heights. We're either Cleveland Heights or Cuyahoga Falls. It's,
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
right. One or the other.
Oh, I see that, you're right.
Well, let the record show that Mr. Souchaki has joined the meeting, and it is 7:46. He's been here for a bit.
Okay, and I guess the next thing on the agenda is number 7, the approval for the treasurer's business. Is that where we are?
I think we have to vote on.
Yeah, you have to
we
vote on
have
the
to vote on
We have to
consent
vote.
treasurer's
Yes.
consent agenda.
Mrs. Decker?
Aye.
Mrs. Etter?
Aye.
Ms. Prowse?
Aye.
Mr. Dobbins?
Aye,
Mr. Souchaki?
Aye, motion passes 7-0.
5-0.
5-0, sorry. What was I thinking? Oh, there's 7 of us sitting at the table. That's what it was.
and you're on item number 7, so lucky sevens.
Lucky 7, something like that. Oh, it was item number 7. That's how I did that. Okay, so that moves us into section 8, further treasurer discussion.
Yep, just have a couple items. 8A, our fiscal year '24 GAAP financial statements are completed by the Auditor of State's Office. We began back in July of 2024 and completed around the end of November 2024. So those statements are available right here. 8B, per ORC, we do have to publish notice in the newspaper that our financial statements are complete and available to view on our website. So I've already done that in the Cleveland Plain Dealer.
Wonderful.
8C, Suburban Health Consortium. If we go down to the attachment in the administrative content, everybody opens that. I do have highlighted in orange from Todd Huster, who's the treasurer of Orange City Schools and also the fiscal officer for Suburban Health Consortium. He talks about the report for last month is slightly positive, and that's the first time in a long time I've been able to say that. While positive, the consortium has a long way to go to build reserves. So it's not a negative report, it's slightly positive, so I just wanted to highlight that. And then 8D, we have the annual alternative tax budget. If we open that attachment, it's due to the Cuyahoga County Budget Commission before January 15th, and it has to be filed with them, has to be passed by the Board of Education before January 15th, and then filed with them before January 17th. We'll have that available as we do every year at the organizational meeting, which we're holding the 8th.
Okay,
And that's all I have for tonight.
all right, very good. Any other questions for the treasurer? Okay, hearing none, we'll move into section 9, superintendent's business.
All right, I have 8 items for considerations. 9A, approval of the 2025 board meeting calendar, and then 10A, B, and C, student wellness service proposal, the Model UN, and then the approval of release of all claims. 11A, accept a resignation for retirement purposes of an intervention specialist, and then 12A and B, the approval of 2 long-term subs, one in a classroom as a teacher, one as a teacher assistant, and finally 13A, approval of a few remaining chat supplemental contracts.
Okay, very good. And I entertain a motion for those items, please. Moved by Mr. Dobbins,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Deca. Turn it back to superintendent.
All right, so
for discussion.
this was the board meeting calendar schedule that we had discussed at the last couple of meetings, so everybody should have a copy of that. At the table here, there was one, I know that in May, Mr. Muccio wanted to discuss, because there's a 5-year forecast timeline that he kind of wanted to just mention here real quickly. And then, of course, once we get closer to summer, as vacations start to pop up, if we need to make adjustments, we just have to give timely notice if we can. So go ahead, Mr. Muccio.
The only thing with the 5-year forecast in May, the way we currently have it, is typically we review it at the work session and then approve it 2 weeks later at our board meeting. So if we were to kind of do what we usually do, we review it the 14th and approve it the 28th. Well, ODE asks that schools submit it 4 or 5 days ahead of time, just to make sure everything goes right through the data collector and that it's on their website and the numbers are incorrect. So we'd be kind of, pushing it at that level, the way we currently have it. Now, if we didn't
Is there a possibility of just moving the meetings up to the 7th and the 21st? Because there's 3 weeks in between the April 28th and the May 14th meeting.
You know, we had discussed that. The 21st was that regional track or district track meet that's here.
Oh,
And yeah, I
Okay.
mean, that's the only reason I think why we would pick the 14th and the 28th.
okay.
So, but we can always modify this schedule and readopt it next month.
This one in May is the update, right? Not like the, or is the November one the update? The 5 years.
The May's the update.
The May's update.
Yeah, it's the update.
So I guess, to me, it's like, if we were gonna combine it.
Yeah, unless you have major concerns about his forecast, it would be reasonable to just do it all on the 14th.
Yeah, especially since it's a.
Agreed. And if we do encounter some issues and we need to look at it again, then we could call the special on the 21st.
Okay, going to number 10, we've got the Student Wellness Service Proposal. This is with the Northeast Ohio Educational Service Center for coaching and consultation related to the positive behavioral intervention and supports PBIS programming, elementary school coaching, consultation to help with team meetings and facilitation of targeted professional development. Essentially, PBIS it's been around since 2013 in Ohio. It's a framework that allows us to address behaviors in a way that helps keep kids in school, as opposed to suspending kids as a first option, putting kids on different types of plans, and using a much broader framework. We've been working on this ever since we've been here in 2015. And this has got an elementary focus, paid for with grant money. The Model UN, this trip already occurred the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Thanks to Mr. Suchaki for giving me pre-approval to, but just through Mr. Muccio, explain the finances of it. They traveled down to Columbus. They competed against teams from around the state. Not that you need to know this here, but I'm just going to say it. We won Outstanding Cultural Award, Outstanding Resolution, Fundraising Runner-Up, and A.J. Curta was the Outstanding Delegate for the entire Model UN program there.
awesome.
So we brought home 4
That's great.
trophies. So, you know, a lot of credit goes to Mr. Kosovich and the students that invest in that. They did an outstanding job.
If
So,
you'd like to bring them to a board meeting for recognition.
Absolutely.
That would be very nice. too.
yep,
'Cause
absolutely.
That's awesome. That's a great accomplishment for our students.
10C, this is the approval release of all claims between Cuyahoga Heights Local School District and a third party in the amount of $685.78 for a minor bus accident that occurred. I say it's an accident, but it was more of a scraping of paint on the fender. It's hard to tell who was really at fault, but for $685.78, we're able to settle this. We don't file that with the insurance company. Usually if it's under $1,000, it's not worth increasing our rates. So that's what that is, and that's under the administrative content for you to view. 11A, at the end of this coming school year, June 6, 2025, we're going to have the retirement of Mrs. Beth Pavick, intervention specialist. She came here in 2015 when Mr. Burek and I did. She's just an outstanding human being, in addition to an outstanding intervention specialist. She's a true advocate for kids, especially at the high school level, and has done co-teaching in our high school as well as anybody has ever done it. So she's just a real gem, and we're grateful to have her for 6 more months. Long-term sub-elementary school, we have Bailey Hedgedis, who will be taking over for Mrs. Dennison in 2nd grade. We've approved her. She has 2 approvals here. So from now until we go on winter break, should she be able to come in, because she's got some part-time jobs, to collaborate, we would pay her at the substitute teacher rate per the miscellaneous pay schedule. But starting on the 6th of January through the end of the school year, she will be on a prorated BA Step 1 for the remainder of the school year, because Mrs. Dennison will not come back until next school year. One of the things that, you know, I'm grateful to Mr. Muccio to allow us to do this. There are no subs out there. There aren't even people in positions, not let alone subs. So for example, Mr. Burek was at a regional meeting today, and there's a shortage of speech language pathologists, occupational therapists, physical therapists. They're not there. People have the need. There aren't human beings. And then when you try to get substitute teachers of high quality to come in and take over when our teachers leave, we've been very fortunate to do that. And one of the reasons is Mr. Muccio has allowed us to kind of sidestep, what other school districts do, and we just go straight to putting them on a BA step 1, and we get a more invested, quality individual who's committed to our kids, and that's why we're able to continue over the last couple of years maintain the high achievement, high performance, and growth because of the quality people that have come in to substitute while our staff members have been out. The long-term teacher assistant, another amazing human being, and this is for Mrs. George. If you remember, she's a teacher assistant. She took over for Mrs. Orlando in the art program. Well, we need to replace the teacher assistant. Mrs. Christina Boning has done a couple long-term stints for us, and she's going to do the teacher assistant piece. Our teacher assistants support our teachers in amazing ways, especially in those small group intervention settings. So it's very valuable to have somebody of Mrs. Boning's skill set to be able to come in. Again, she'll be at teacher assistant step 1 until her assignment ends, and that'll be when Mrs. Orlando comes back and Mrs. George slides back, and then Mrs. Boning her assignment will be over. And then finally, we have some chat supplemental positions. We have scores for high school basketball. For the boys, we have scoreboard operator for girls basketball, and we have a score for girls basketball. So 4 individuals are on that list. Those are my items.
Thank you. Any questions for the superintendent? Further discussion? Hearing none. Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Dobbins.
Aye.
Mrs. Decker.
Aye.
Mrs. Zetter.
Aye.
Ms. Prowse. Mr. Souchak.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Section 15, superintendent's comments.
All right, I'll try to keep this rolling. So had an outstanding PTO event last Saturday with the PTO Santa Breakfast. We had 200 people, at least 200 people downstairs. It was fantastic. The PTO has just done an outstanding job. So, yes, were you there?
I wasn't, but I just said I missed those days.
Oh, it was incredible. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and they continue to do amazing things, for our students in our school. We've got a band concert, holiday band concert tomorrow night. We have the Al Pinter Wrestling Tournament coming up this weekend. Next week is the choir concert. We also have, on the 16th, we have our senior citizens event here. So I think we have between 60 and 70 individuals signed up for that, so it's going to be great to have them into our school. The BEST committee is next week on the 18th, right here. 5:30 for food, 6 o'clock we start the meeting for an hour and a half. It's the end of the semester next week. We're into midterm exams primarily for our 9th graders through 12th graders. Only one semester to go for our seniors. It's hard to believe that it's happening so quickly here. And then, of course, we'll be starting winter break, and over winter break, we've got the Labella tournament for basketball. I mentioned the Model UN, which was, again, fantastic for those individuals that went down there and just represented our schools so well. And I know Mr. Kosovich is switching gear, and mock trial is going to be firing up here really soon, and they've already been doing some great things with mock trial. And then, I said I would mention just briefly, I had sent out a couple communications last week about the Calamity Day protocols, and I know as I told my staff, there's going to be people that agree with me or disagree with me no matter what I do, and it's not just a call I make from, my home in Wadsworth. I was up here at, 4:30 and was on the road in a school vehicle with Mr. Zerbola at 5:15. We were driving the streets, and he was practicing maneuverability while I was holding on, not for dear life, but I was like, wow, you're a pretty good driver, Jim. You're out there testing just to see how slick the roads are. And it's an interesting dynamic because you've got 3 different villages who all tackle snow a little bit differently. And you've got 7 counties where we have staff members who live, and plus we have 30% of our student body comes from outside the district through our tuition program. You've got area superintendents, some make legitimate calls, others give in to peer pressure. There's no perfect science to it, other than you want people to be safe. And if school's in session and families feel that, maybe their personal condition where they are, which is very possible, the way snow works in Ohio, isn't safe for them, then we have mechanisms to excuse the absences or to excuse tardies to school. We want people to get here safely, and that's the way we'll go about it. But it's National Weather Service, it's contacting the villages, superintendents, Cuyahoga County Emergency Management, our district safety team, local safety forces. A lot goes into getting the right or wrong answer depending on what side of that you're on. So, but yeah, winter's not over, so I'm sure we'll have our fair share of days off. So, all right, because I know we have a few board policies, just a few, so I'm going to stop right there.
Right into section 16.
All right. So, the board has a couple of sections here. This is like their consent agenda. Is that correct? So you have policies that are up for second reading, your final reading before adoption, and then you have a resolution in 17A for the insurance in lieu of bond. Mr. Mucci has spoken about that before. If you wanted to talk more about that at all, do you want to say anything more about that?
I think we've already discussed this item, so I'll entertain a motion for the resolution and number 17A, insurance in lieu of bond.
So moved.
Wait,
Moved by Ms.
16, aren't we on 16?
Yeah, it's a consent. Yeah, it's
Oh.
16 and 17 is your consent agenda.
Oh, okay, 16 and 17, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so the motion is for the entire consent agenda, the policies that are listed in 16A through I, and then the resolution is of insurance in lieu of bond. So now, having restated it, I'll entertain the motion again.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Dobbins. Oh, okay. Second by Mrs., whatever your name is. Is there any discussion?
I was just going to say, Mr. Young, I just direct it to your attention, but for anyone who's listening, there was a very interesting segment on 60 Minutes last week about, I guess it's the Khan Academy and how they've aligned themselves with some AI developers, and they're coming up with a product that is being tested. And it was very interesting to see it from my perspective, which was at least 30,000 feet. It was very interesting.
Yeah, artificial intelligence none of us have any idea how far it's going to take, what we can do. I think I was at a session yesterday at the ESC. Had an outstanding speaker come in, and what he talked about was if anything, AI is going to increase the emphasis on those human aspects that are so important to come out through your schooling, whether that's collaboration, problem solving, resourcefulness, curiosity, those types of things. AI can only enhance that. Don't use AI to kill those things. Use it to enhance those things, because those humans who use AI will outdo humans who don't use AI. But AI alone isn't going to be enough, and a human alone isn't going to be enough. So it's amazing stuff, and it always plays out somehow in education. So
That was one of my takeaways from that segment, is that essentially it doesn't preclude the need for human teachers, particularly the high quality that we have. It just enhances their ability. It's a tool, as you've said many times, and I just thought that was a real fascinating program. So that's all I had.
Anything else? Okay, hearing none, Treasurer, please call the roll.
Mr. Dobbins?
Aye.
Ms. Prowse? Aye. Mrs. Decker?
Aye.
Mrs. Enter?
Aye.
Mr. Sajak?
Aye, motion passes 5-0. That gets us down to, where am I?
number 19.
19, policy review, so we have more policies to review.
Yeah, and I would anticipate with what's going on in the lame duck session here that you're going to have even more policies once we get into the beginning of the year. I'm going to condense this because you'll see it starts with letter B, policy 1130, then 3113, 4113, 6110, 6111, 6112, 6114, 6325, 6550, and 7310, and then 7450. These fall under what are called UGG Edgar revisions, and they all have to deal with grant funding. So I'll just summarize why all of these policies are being updated. And the main updates you're going to see is update to language. Whatever blanks we filled in, whether it was monetary amounts or sections we checked, were all consistent with current policy. So essentially, we're just adopting what the changes of the law are. So kind of to sum it all up, these updates are related to federal grant management rules that affect school boards. Here are the key points. The Office of Management and Budget revised its guidance for federal grants in April of 2024, with changes becoming mandatory for new federal awards after October 1st of 2024. However, for certain education grants, and we approve those annually, Title I, Title IIA, IDEA, for example, issued after July 1st of 2024. Now, July 1 is an important time in the year. That's the new fiscal year. All right, so that's a key date there. If they update their policies accordingly, okay, we can implement the new rules starting July 1, 2024. So the Ohio Department of Education Workforce has confirmed July 1 is the effective date. For older grants issued before July 1 of 2024, that's the old fiscal year, the old rules apply. So essentially, by doing this policy, we don't have to wait till October 1 to apply these new laws. They go all the way back to July 1, which is the start of the fiscal year. So we can apply these back to the new fiscal year. Main purposes include new legal requirements and administrative priorities, reduce paperwork and burden on agencies and recipients, clear up confusing sections that were interpreted differently by different organizations, and made the language clearer and more consistent. All right, so schools will need to do significant work to update their own procedures to match these new requirements, and Neola, who we contract with, offers to help by hosting these procedurals electronically with links to relevant policies and guidelines. So the core message is that schools need to prepare for these new grant management rules, with most changes taking effect July 1, 2024 in Ohio, as long as you update your policies, and that's what we're doing. So that's that in a nutshell. Now, Policy 2265, this is a brand new policy, comes from a new law, House Bill 214, and this policy is called Protections of Individual Beliefs, Affiliations, Ideals, or Principles of Political Movements or Ideology. All right, so by January 22nd of 2025, all school districts must adopt and post a policy that prohibits requiring commitments to specific political beliefs or ideologies. The law specifically prohibits schools from making employees or job applicants express opinions about or commit to specific political beliefs or ideologies, requiring students to commit to specific beliefs, political beliefs or ideologies, using political beliefs or ideology commitments as criteria in employee evaluations, promotions, or benefits, and then finally using political beliefs or ideological commitments in student academic evaluations. So to help comply, Neola has created this brand new policy. A related change about religious expression days has already been included in a different policy which we previously adopted, that was policy 5200. And schools can now access the new template, which we have done here as part of the Board Docs console. So the key message here is that schools must implement policies that protect students and employees from being required to express or commit to specific political beliefs or ideologies with a deadline of January 22nd, 2025 for having these policies in place. So this there's nothing to select here in this policy. It's just language aligned to this law. Essentially, I don't know, we were talking about this earlier today. This is so broad. It can be interpreted so many different ways. Like what one district defines as an ideology, another one won't. And then political beliefs, what does that mean that we can't teach about political beliefs in a government class where you have legitimate standards? There's just a lot to work out here, but by the time we do a second reading of this, which will be January 8th, we will be in compliance to have a policy in place by January 22nd. So anyways, those are the policies that we have for a first reading and consideration.
Any questions or discussion on those policies? Okay. All right, moving on to section 20, board discussions, committee reports, and comments. Anybody have anything? Career Center meeting is tomorrow night. I'll have lots more information after that is over. I have reviewed the five-year forecast, of course, and there is a dip. The expenditures exceed revenues over the next couple of years because of all of the projects going on. But by the end of the five-year forecast, it's flipped and things are moving in a positive direction. So the bank balance is essentially flat during the 5 years. It dips down, then it goes back above. So a five-year average is essentially flat from where it is today. So that we have, and there'll be a number of things coming up at our meeting tomorrow night. I'll review them at our next meeting. Anybody have anything else? Any future agenda items, number 21? Okay, moving on to section 22, it might be noted that the Board of Education members received their agendas several days prior to the actual meeting, and they've had time to study and review and so on. Organizational meeting will be Wednesday, January 8th at 7 p.m. here in the Monterey Media Center. And that's the meeting. Purpose of the meeting is to elect officers, set the regular meeting schedules, and consider any other matters that may come before us. So upcoming meetings are the organizational meeting on January 8th at 7, a regular board meeting on January 22nd, and then a work session on February 12th at 6. Okay, at this point, I hereby move that the board adjourn to executive session pursuant to ORC 121.22G1. Consider employment. All these items here, it's a long paragraph. Appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation of a public employee, official, or investigation of charges, etc. Can I have a second for that motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Dobbins. Will the treasurer please call the roll?
Mr. Suchak?
Aye.
Mr. Dodd?
Aye.
Mrs. Decker?
Aye.
Mrs. Etter?
Aye.
Ms. Press?
Motion passes 5-0. It is 8:14. We are adjourning to executive session. No action will be taken afterwards, and this executive session will be for board members only.